Hey everyone, just quick announcement before I share today's episode with Susan Hargreaves. Susan is doing some amazing work and I'm excited for her to get to share her story. I just want to take a minute to share the release of my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. It's a cute book with bright pictures that follows a toddler on her trip to the chiropractor. It shows her excitement and how she knows that it impacts her health in a positive way. And each purchase of the book will be supporting a project that I started called the Unlock Wellness Project. For each purchase of the book, we will be donating a wellness bag to a child in need. These wellness bags will include non-toxic, chemical-free essentials such as soap, shampoo, toothpaste, a toothbrush, items that a lot of the times children in tough situations don't have access to. We're also going to be shipping wellness bags to flood victims in Houston, Texas, and reaching out to victims of Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria as well. You can learn more about the book and the Unlock Wellness Project by going to my website at drcaseyjohnson.com. That's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then click the Children's Book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video with more information. You can also purchase the book directly on Amazon.com by searching Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. But I hope you guys love the book. Be sure to check out my website to learn more, and thank you so much for the support. Now it's time for today's episode. I hope you love my conversation with Susan Hargreaves. Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Casey and excited for today's guest. I'm here with Susan Hargreaves, and Susan is the founder of Animal Hero Kids, and she's just doing some extremely inspiring work and excited for her to get to share her story. So Susan, thank you so much for taking time to come on. I'm excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here and talk about Animal Hero Kids and what we are doing to make the world a kinder place.
Awesome. Yeah, and Susan, let's just jump into your backstory. What kind of led you up to, finding Animal Hero Kids? I know that you are vegan, so just, how that started and then how that influenced you as you, grew and just learned more and to finally creating Animal Hero Kids.
Well, when I was 9 years old, because I loved animals so much, my aunt said, "Why don't you come to work with me today? Because I know how much you love animals." So she brought me to work, and she was a receptionist for a chicken hatchery. And some people may know what I saw there, and others may be surprised. But in the chicken hatchery business, they kill, gas, or suffocate all male chicks as soon as they're hatched on conveyor belts. So there I was, standing in this large room with multiple conveyor belts, industrial-sized bins, like drums, that had hoses in them, with gas going in, and all the baby male chicks being gassed and suffocated, dying in front of me. And it was an absolute, utter shock, as you can well imagine. And I turned to the adults in the room, and the adults in the room were not helping the chicks. And when you're 9 years old, you look to the adults.
Right. You're young and you don't understand.
Right. So yeah. I looked at their faces and looked at their movements, waiting for them to spring into action to stop this obvious horror that was happening. So some chicks were still alive, crawling out from under the bodies of the other chicks, and it was something I'll never forget. And it was the day that I realized that these people, it was business as usual. And you might say that the shell of innocence that you have when you're a child may have cracked there, realizing that adults and business and funds, money, profit, and harming animals can all go hand in hand with no one helping.
Yeah, and Susan, I'm glad we're bringing this up a little bit because it's a topic, and I was just talking with somebody on a podcast episode the other day, and we were just talking about how, those kind of things, like, you were saying you might not know what that scene looks like. And like, for me, I've never seen that firsthand, but there's some of these documentaries I have seen it, and it's awful. And it is hard for people to listen to and hard for people to watch in those kind of things. And so sometimes people would just kind of, put the blinders on, but I mean, it is happening. And it's something that something has to change with that, because it's really, it's not right. And I'm glad we're diving into that today. So it's just super important.
And that was almost 50 years ago, and they are still doing it today. Now, what I then came to realize is that who and what parts of animal bodies I was eating. But it took me a while to put it all together, that I was part of the problem, unless I stopped financially congratulating the animal abusers by buying their products. Now, today, it's massively different. I turned vegan after investigating the stockyards and the slaughterhouses in 1981 and 1982. And at that time, it was really more difficult than it is now. Today, it is so easy with all of the products. But getting back to Animal Hero Kids, I decided that there must be a way that other children wouldn't feel as powerless as I did that day, and to empower those kids with the tools to help other animals. And naturally, children are drawn to other animals, and once they learn that they're being harmed, then they want to help them naturally. And their instinct is to kindness, like most people are. People.
I mean, I have an almost 2-year-old daughter. She loves animals. Like, I can't imagine what her face would look like, or like what would be running through her mind if she saw like an animal being abused. Like, that's just awful.
Yes, and a lot of times, of course, the whole story is not told to the child with the food that they're eating. And there are some children with Animal Hero Kids. We give Animal Hero Kids awards, and we reach about 30,000 students each year with interactive programs about how to be animal heroes to all animals, because often people just think of cats and dogs, but not the most abused animals in the world, which is factory farmed animals.
Right.
And one of the children at 3 years old turned her whole family vegan.
That's cool.
Just simply by asking questions.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, it brings up valid points that you just don't think about. And you can't, it's one of those things, like, you understand where people are, because it is something that it's not publicly known. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, once you get it. But like, I mean, I didn't understand fully until, a few years ago. So like, I understand where people's mindsets are with it. But once you start diving into it and see what it's all about, like, it just makes sense. So that's why it's easy for kids, because like, they understand compassion at the most basic level. So it's easier.
Yes, it's and then when we do our programs in schools, which there's never a charge for, we, whenever possible, have vegan hero sandwich making activities.
Oh, that's cool.
So the kids make their own vegan sandwich. So the tofutti cream cheese, or diet cheese, veggies, tomato slices, lettuce, and then they just build their own sandwich. Sometimes potato chips too. Throw some potato chips in there.
Gotcha.
For the sandwich.
And you guys your main location is Miami, right? Or do you guys have like a bunch of other locations as well?
Well, we are what you would call a global organization, in that we give awards to kids all over the world, kids and teens. So we gave an award recently to a teen in Australia for his heroic action saving a swan that was tied up with fishing line, very weak and almost dead. And he was given instructions on how to give mouth-to-beak resuscitation.
Wow.
And he rescued that swan by giving mouth to beak.
That's amazing, though.
Yes, and he likes soccer, and he was surprised at his soccer game by a very well-known professional soccer player with the Animal Hero Kids Awards that we had arranged for him.
That's awesome.
Yes, so we're global, yes, and then we don't actually have a bricks and mortar office because every single penny in our all-volunteer charity goes to going directly into the schools, traveling to the schools, giving away free materials, and we try not to have any overhead. Yeah. So we're out there. We're out there at schools all across Florida, and I've done lots of school assemblies in Portland and Los Angeles and many other places. I love doing school assemblies the best because that you reach a lot of children or teens in that in that one day. You know, school populations today go from 250 and up. You know, so
right. And it plants the seed early because even if that doesn't impact them directly that day, it's at least a thought. And sometimes it takes a while for that to kind of come back up again. Do you know what I mean? So like,
yes.
you know, as you know, I never had that type of talk as a young kid. Like nobody came to my school and did that. Like it was just never a thought that crossed my mind. So like to have that at a young age, you just don't know how that will develop as they develop and learn more. And it's just really awesome.
Yes, exactly. And if you think back to your school days, when you had an assembly, that was when something important was happening.
Right.
And so they really take the message to heart. And I also thank the children in the school who have helped others, who are kind. And I get the names of the students beforehand to give them a shout out from the stage. And it's something that the kids remember and then take home to their family. So our goal is I've written a book about all of the Animal Hero kids' stories of animal rescue that I've amassed really over the course of 30 or so years. And that book is almost 300 pages, all full of wonderful, inspiring, heartwarming, happy ending stories of compassion and courage by children and teens.
That's
and
cool.
Our goal is to gift that to every single school library. So after our presentation, we leave a book for the library. The kids have seen some of the stories on the big screen, and then they take it out, and then the teachers take it out for lessons. And a lot of Montessori schools love our book for the lessons and the service learning projects and the stories that they can use in the classroom.
That's cool. So, and your book, the book's available to purchase on Amazon and stuff, right?
Yes, it's better if anybody listening would like to help our goal and or buy a book. It's a wonderful gift for anyone, no matter how old you are, because everyone can empathize with these stories. And so it's better to go to animalherokids.org because then we get more funds rather than Amazon.
Right.
And then that goes towards our goal. And if anybody wants to sponsor a book for their local school or their local library, then they could go to animalherokids.org, and there's a form to get in touch with us. And I think this is I have been and still am a direct action animal activist, an undercover investigator. I rehabilitated wildlife, and I've done many protests and still organize protests to change people's view. But I feel that children and teens talking to the mainstream public is the way for us to get through any hard shell that adults may have,
right,
where they don't want to realize that they are part of the problem, that the reason these animals are being abused on such a horrific scale is because they're paying them to do it.
Right. Right. And, especially with, we were talking about how kids just have that natural love and compassion that it's just unfiltered, right? And especially with a topic like this, it is a hard topic. And I think when you can come from a place of love, people are more receptive. But if you're coming from, anger and hate and like frustration, like people don't always respond to that. So it's,
Right.
the more you can come from a loving place and just be like, this is what's happening. Like, these are alternatives, we can help you however you need it. It's just the best way to go. And, that's how, I like to go about it. I just think it makes a larger impact. So I love that.
People don't turn it off. You don't want to, but how can anyone argue with this beautiful story of a child saving a turkey
Right.
from death at Thanksgiving? No matter what species of animal that child or teen is saving or speaking up for, it's hard to disagree with that positive compassion that
Right.
is shown. And has there ever been a time more than now that we need this compassion?
No. And I think because of that, Susan, it is becoming more mainstream. I mean, like I'm on social media all the time. Like, I can't tell you how many people I see now that, like, I mean, from celebrities to, athletes that are making this change. Everybody makes that for a different reason, whether it's they're trying to be more, just be better, like on the court or on the field, or if they're trying to be more compassionate, but they all kind of go together. But I think that, I'm seeing it more and more from people, like people making more ethical clothing lines. Like, I mean, you have like Jaden Smith, who is, has a very big voice and is sharing that, and like promoting vegan restaurants. And like, there's so many people that are promoting it now. And I think it's because everybody they're tired of the negativity that's going on, and they're just any way to promote any type of compassion and like a better world. Like, they're just into that. And I think and I don't know if I'm sure you've noticed it as well. Just it's really starting to pick up a lot, and I'm just seeing it more and more, which is great.
Yes, it's definitely growing, and for captive wildlife, in whether they be in aquariums, zoos, circuses, people are more aware that wild animals belong in the wild. And so there is a public shift when it comes to also healthy eating. It used to be that nobody even knew what the word vegan meant.
Right. Or it was hippie, or it was like
Exactly.
just tofu only.
Right.
But I love tofu, so I can't hate on tofu. But yeah, no, I mean, it definitely has that. But I think it's I like how the switch is going in the media, and I like how it's making that change, because it's making it seem more mainstream and more cool. And I think it's what it really needs, especially when you have like social media. It amplifies that just even faster. You know what I mean?
Yes, and documentaries,
Yeah.
which we're in the process of filming.
Awesome.
Our Animal Hero Kids documentary, which you've got Animal Hero Kids the book, and now you'll have Animal Hero Kids the movie.
That's cool. So what is that timeline for that looking like?
Well, we're looking to have more support for that, financial support, so we can finish it. All we would need at this point is $3,300 more, believe it or not.
Yeah, you're almost
for
there.
the editing.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have never been. My main thing is not being about fundraising. So believe it or not, we've actually only ever had 2 actual fundraising events in the 30 or more years.
Wow.
We're lucky that I speak to people who can help as far as in-kind donations, printers, and we keep our overhead costs down. But I'm realizing just lately that we definitely need to focus more on fundraising. And it's not always comfortable for people, but the documentary will not be finished unless we get some funds donated for the video editing. That's professional video editing of
Right.
course, you know, to
Right. And I'm
have
sure
it
like, and
really
especially
beautiful.
with being in Miami, Susan, I mean, I'm sure the resources there are just like, just, there's just probably so many amazing resources that you would have once you get the right funding. And people want to be a part of being like stuff being made like that because like then you have the movie screening and like those people were a part of it. It forms like a community. And Miami has a great vegan community already. So that's just going to help even more.
Yes, yes. But if anyone is listening that is a professional video editor, we could really use help with that. So I've found a lot of times people do need to get paid for their work because they have to feed their family and all that pesky stuff like paying rent, you know.
All that
So it's
stuff.
not as, you
All
know,
that unnecessary stuff,
so
right?
yeah. So if there's any like video editors listening to this, or even website creators and or animators, we really need your volunteer help, and we're all volunteer professionals that are helping animals. We're also looking for more animalherokids.org co-presidents. We have about 10 right now, from all around the United States and Canada. So we're looking for Animal Hero Kids co-presidents that range from ages 6 to 17 to help be a voice for animals. So they can contact us on animalherokids.org if they would like to help with that.
Okay, cool. And is that email, and I'm going to put all of the links and the emails and all of that in the show notes. That way people will be able to see all of it.
Terrific.
But is that email the same one that people would reach out if they want to donate their time for video editing or if they're
Yes.
website creators or anything like that?
Yes, they can go to education@animalherokids.org. And if anyone would like to buy a copy of the book, it's animalherokids.org. And we are asking Ellen DeGeneres if she will help us achieve our goal of gifting a book to every school library in the United States. So we're asking people to fill in a little form on our website at animalherokids.org, which is like a little message to Ellen saying, you know, come and help, because really, we are preventing animal cruelty, we're promoting kindness, and we are getting right to the root of the issue, because empathy, if you don't have empathy for another being, whether that be a two-legged or four-legged being, then we really don't have any building blocks to kindness, understanding, respect, consideration, all of the factors that are needed in a healthy society. And we really need it now more than ever before. This is a solution that works. And so here we have the answer to make the world a kinder place, to make society more just. And we are asking people to help us achieve it by helping Animal Hero Kids get our message out that it is so easy to be kind to each other. And if another child sees a 7-year-old that is speaking out and helping animals that are in need, then that 7-year-old knows, hey, I can do that. If he or she is doing that, then I can do that too. Doesn't matter how much money you have. We have examples, wonderful examples, of kids and teens from all walks of life who are helping animals. We have Latrell McCochran, who is 13 and at his friend's house lifting weights on a Friday night in his apartment in Oakland, California, smelled smoke, saw 2 apartment doors down, flames coming out of a doorway. He crawled under the smoke and dragged the disabled man out. The disabled man said, my dog is inside. He then went in and rescued the dog. And Latrell McCochran, 13 years old, we flew him down to the Animal Hero Kids Awards, which we have annually, where he met Russell Simmons, and we had the Animal Hero Kids Awards at James Cameron's wife's school in Calabasas.
Yep. It's called Muse, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing what they're doing there.
Yeah. And so we had children and teens from all over Philadelphia. We flew them all in. They met each other. All of the students in the school saw the show, and a lot of celebrities came out to support them. So it's really such a positive win-win situation and Florida locally, we have a lot of Animal Hero kids and teens and beautiful stories that are in the book.
That's amazing. No, I'm excited to check out the book and check out the different stories. And Susan, I know you talked about a few of the email addresses and the website, but if you can just repeat all of it, that way they have all of your social media links and the websites all in one place. But if you want to go ahead and just give all of those out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. And the website is animalherokids.org, and our email is education@animalherokids.org. And we're on Facebook for Animal Hero Kids and Instagram for Animal Hero Kids. You'll see our logo, which was created by the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale's art class, and our website was also created by them. And we are looking for social media volunteers also. Currently, we have a 13-year-old social media Instagrammer that's helping us a lot, but she has to go to school. So
right, we'll allow that. We'll allow that. Yeah, no. So if you guys are listening and you want to donate your time to help with their social media accounts, or like if you are listening and maybe you have a child in high school or middle school that's into social media, or maybe even into editing or doing anything like that, like reach out to Susan, because they're looking for any type of creative. And obviously it's helping a good cause. It's also going to help their resume and connection. So it's all of that stuff, Susan. So
yes.
I think that
we can also give community service.
Awesome.
Thanks for thinking of that. We can also give sign off for community service hours for schools. Most high schools need that these days.
Right. Even I mean, if you're like just starting college, like you need community service in college too. So as far as like doing more creative stuff there as well. So I mean, if you guys are listening and you think of anybody that would be a good fit, you can either reach out to me and I'll connect you to Susan, or reach out to Susan through her email, their website, all of that. So so Susan, just closing question that I ask every guest. But if you had one piece of advice for the audience, maybe it was something that was your biggest takeaway through your whole wellness journey, but if you just had one piece of advice to give, what would it be?
Well, my first instinct would say go vegan. That's sort of a no-brainer, basic. So I feel like I have to build on that. So I have to say be positive. But surround yourself with positive people that want you to be happy, people that care for you, people that want you to achieve your dreams.
Awesome. No, I love that, Susan. That's amazing. And just thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to just help you out with whatever you need. I hope people reach out to you with wanting to help out as well, and just keep doing what you're doing, because it's extremely inspiring, and I love all of the work you're doing. So just thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you loved my conversation with Susan. She's just doing such positive work, and I'm excited for you guys to get to follow her on social media and just keep up with everything that she's doing. You can find the social media links that we talked about in the episode in the show notes, but you can also find them on my website as well at drkaseyjohnson.com. That's DRKASEY Johnson.com. Click on the Listen tab. Then from there, you'll be able to see all of the past guests that have come on the Unlock Wellness podcast, read a little bit about each guest, and be able to click on their social media links, websites, email, all of that. So all of Susan's information can be found on my website as well. And that's also going to be a great place to find her email to reach out if you, just like we talked about in the episode, if you are somebody who is amazing at video editing and wants to be a part of the documentary that they're working on, or if you're an animator or great at social media, it's just a great way to get involved with an amazing organization. Also, you're going to have your name put on some pretty amazing work, and you can also get community service hours. So if that's required for you at your school, then that's something that she can, provide you community service. So it's just a great way to get involved with an amazing organization. So feel free to reach out to Susan about that, or you can also reach out to me and I'll connect you with Susan's. So either way is great. But if you guys loved today's episode with Susan, be sure to jump onto iTunes, subscribe, and write a review. It really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate all of the feedback and support. And just like I spoke about in the intro, also be sure to check out my first children's book of my Healthy Children's Book series called Maddox's Trip to the Chiropractor. Each purchase of the book supports the Unlock Wellness Project, which supplies a wellness bag to a child in need for each book purchased. You can learn more about the book and the Unlock Wellness Project on my website as well at drcaseyjohnson.com. Click on the Shop tab, then choose the Children's Book option. You'll be able to read a short description and even watch a short video to learn more. If you do purchase the book, be sure to share it on social media using the hashtag UWProject. I'll repost it and give you a shout out on the podcast. But I hope you guys loved the book. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope you loved today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.